All right, everybody, welcome to Carpool Boxing. This video is going to be about talking about a channel called Counterpunch Boxing. Not necessarily the whole channel. I'm only talking about in regards to videos made that talk about Triple G and Canelo. I enjoy many of his videos. I got nothing against this guy, whoever's doing these videos. I wish it continues to do what it's doing, but for whatever reason, when it comes to videos of Triple G and Canelo, the guy completely annoys me. If you open up his page, the first thing you'll see is it's obvious, not just by looking at his page, but if you listen to a lot of the videos that I've watched, you'll see the obvious bias this guy has towards Triple G. Now, I want to clarify for anyone that has like a favorite fighter out there, or thinks I'm trying to say you can't have a favorite fighter or lean one way or the other. There's absolutely nothing wrong with having your favorite fighter or leaning one way or the other. Nothing wrong with that. I think we all, to some extent, tend to do that anyways. So, but when you have a bias and you allow that to cloud your judgment and your reason, I think that kind of leans itself to people seeing right off the bat. You just become a source of entertainment. You just become white noise, if you will, and really doesn't really sound like you know what the hell you're talking about. I know he says he's boxed before, but I only give that so much weight unless it's guys that have been boxing professionally or have been doing it for a long time. But even then, have you guys ever noticed how sometimes even boxers, as much experience as they might have, they get fights wrong? I mean, you got boxers predicting fights all the time, and they get it just as wrong as regular guys that have never boxed. So, yeah, okay, that only goes so far. So here are some examples of what I'm talking about. Is he downplayed the level of opposition that Canelo has had? To me, it sounded like he's saying that Triple G has had better opponents, and he's one of the few people that I've heard say that. In fact, you go around the internet, watch most videos, that's actually one of the things that most people are giving to Canelo, that he's seen better opposition. Now, you might be able to knock him for like the cons and you know, other fights like that, but he still, even then, has seen better opposition than Triple G. And he kind of admits this without even noticing, but he basically says in one of his videos that he hasn't really fought better opposition. He's only fought better names. Okay? Which to me sounds absolutely ridiculous. How does someone get a name? Do they just get it by somehow marketing and waking up one day and say, hey, I have a name? No, they have a name because they're good boxers, or they got to a point where they earned that position. So his statement is absolutely ridiculous. That's one thing. And then he makes two videos, one of them kind of talking about 5 reasons why Canelo would win, and he's got another one, I think he may have more than one, as to why 5 reasons why Triple G would win. And I've listened to just about all the videos he's had with Triple G and Canelo as the topic, and every time he talks about reasons why Canelo would win, they're just reasons that have very little to do with the skill level. It's usually things like you know, that Canelo's the A-side fighter, and if it goes 12 rounds, they're definitely going to give it to Canelo, and talks about he hopes and prays that it doesn't go 12 rounds, and that the judges are going to give it to him. Or he'll say things like he'll come up with excuses for Triple G and say that he's looking pudgy and overweight and he doesn't look as motivated. I mean, you guys can go watch some of these videos. You'll see everything that he says. And again, if he was to probably just make one of these videos, I would have said, okay, agree to disagree. But he's got several videos where he's just piling excuse after excuse for Triple G. It's almost like he's already expecting Triple G to lose, and if he does happen to lose, he's already got a bag of goodies and excuses as to why, and then he's gonna bitch and whine as to why he lost, and he's gonna say, I told you so, this is why he lost. Nah, I'm not gonna give it to him, especially when you're talking about age and all these other things. Look, the way I see it is the fight doesn't just happen inside the ring. The fight to me starts when you start training and when you start taking care of yourself and all that. Now, if you're getting old and you fight a younger fighter, I'm not gonna use that as an excuse for you. You chose to take that fight knowing you're an older fighter or you're going down. I don't like when people do that. It drives me absolutely crazy. The guy thinks he's gonna win. He's going inside the ring thinking that same mentality. No. I mean, no one ever says when an older fighter beats a younger fighter, where they usually say, oh, he was more seasoned, he was a veteran. You know, they'll give him props. But then when he loses, they come up with excuses from like, oh, he was already showing signs of deteriorating, blah, blah. Like, no, it doesn't work both ways. If he's gonna get the glory and all the credit, then you don't come up with excuses with him after. And I just don't like that. That's exactly what he's doing in this case. Talking about he was coming in pudgy and he's come in heavier than usual, and he's already, you know, he's almost like worried and nervous. And I'm like, I mean, if you got such a man crush on Triple G, just stick with it. Stop talking about all these excuses for him. I mean, if he's this badass, which I agree, he's a very, very good fighter, then he's gonna be fine. If he loses, he lost fair and square. That's it. Now, I know there's a bunch of people who, you know, foil-wearing conspiracy theorists and fights were bought. I'm not even gonna get into that topic, and maybe one of these days I'll make a video on that, but I have no interest. So that's it. Hope you enjoyed my first video, and maybe more will come. Depends.